Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine being told that the very fabric of our reality, from the planet's core right up to your own consciousness, is undergoing this transformation of profound cosmic magnitude. And not something way off in the future, but happening right now, shaping our world in ways we're, maybe only just starting to grasp.
Yeah, it's a huge concept. And this isn't just a scientific theory, right? Or some simple prophecy.
No, exactly. It's presented as this bold assertion of a monumental shift. And the message we're diving into today, it comes from sources talking about ancient wisdom, stellar masters, and what they call the Pleiadian light forces.
What's truly fascinating here, I think, is how this message describes a planetary metamorphosis that, well, according to them, it just defies our common understanding of evolution.
Right. How so?
Instead, it proposes it as a cosmic rebirth, like Earth is elevating to a purer, more radiant state of being. That's the idea.
Wow. A cosmic rebirth.
Yeah. And we'll be trying to connect the dots, between this spiritual transmission and a lot of the observable changes happening around us, at least as the source interprets them.
Okay.
Because it's detailed not just as a spiritual idea, but as this multidimensional event. It's got physical, emotional, and really intense energetic manifestations that supposedly impact our whole solar system, and definitely us right here on Earth.
So our mission in this deep dive then is to give you a really comprehensive understanding of this unprecedented planetary transformation, just as it's described by these Pleiadian light forces. We're going to meticulously pull out the key insights from the source material they provided, so you can quickly get a handle on the significance of these, purported changes.
Right.
Understand the mechanisms they propose are behind it all, and maybe even recognize some of the signs globally and personally that they outline in their message.
And it is a vast topic. It touches on geology, consciousness, cosmology.
It really does. But we're here to navigate it clearly, just highlighting what seems most important for you to be well-informed about this particular perspective.
Exactly. Just laying out what the message says.
Okay, let's jump right into the heart of it then. Section 1. The cosmic setup. According to this source, a monumental change is already in motion on planet Earth.
Already happening, yeah, not coming soon.
Right. And this transformation, they assert, it's driven by what they call sacred alignments. Things apparently predicted by ancestral sages and stellar masters way back when.
Which takes us into some really intriguing territory, doesn't it? This idea that cosmic shifts aren't just external, but tied to Earth's identity, its past.
And the message really stresses this isn't just climate change as we typically discuss it, or, geological shifts.
No.
It points to a complete retuning, a recalibration of Earth itself. That's where the term cosmic rebirth comes in.
Yeah, suggesting Earth is ascending, moving towards a new, purer, more radiant expression of what they call its divine original form.
A divine original form. What does that really imply?
Well, from a broader cosmic viewpoint, this cosmic rebirth idea, it really suggests a profound redefinition of Earth's place in the cosmos. It implies these huge transformations might be cyclical.
Like seasons, but on a massive scale.
Kind of, yeah. Like the life cycle of a star or a galaxy, but for a planet, and affecting, according to the source, all living beings on it.
And when they say it goes beyond common human comprehension.
That's a big statement. It's basically inviting us to consider that our current ways of thinking, our scientific, philosophical paradigms, they might just be too limited to really get the full scope of what's supposedly unfolding.
Okay.
And this divine original form idea, it posits that Earth once existed in this pristine energetic state, like perfect integrity, but then manipulations and frequency drops apparently occurred.
Manipulations, that sounds intense.
It does. And the source claims these things caused a deviation from that ideal state. So the transformation happening now, as the Pleiadians describe it, it's presented as a return.
A return to that higher, purer state.
Exactly, a recalibration to its intended harmonious blueprint, effectively undoing those past alterations, they suggest.
So the core idea isn't just evolving forward, it's getting back to something optimal.
Yes, returning to an optimal inherent blueprint, almost like recalibrating Earth and everyone on it back to their highest, most harmonious factory settings, unlocking potential that was supposedly suppressed.
Okay, that's a fascinating framework. And it's not just abstract, is it? The source details very specific physical changes it claims are accelerating right now.
That's right, tangible stuff.
It says Earth's electromagnetic structure is being profoundly affected, big alterations happening there. And we're apparently seeing ocean currents realigning their ancient flows, which is described as directly impacting our climate and energetic balance globally.
Which we do see discussion about scientifically regarding current shifts.
True, but the interpretation here is different. Then the magnetic poles, they're accelerating their migration. That sounds like a fundamental shift in a critical protective field.
A very rapid one, according to this message.
And then this one really stands out. The inner core of the planet has already altered its rotation.
Yeah, that's a scientifically massive claim. The implication.
It's huge. And beyond that, the source points to increased volcanic and seismic activity, more intense, more frequent.
Right.
But it frames this not as random geology.
No, it calls it a purification of Mother Earth's entrails. That's the exact phrasing.
Purification. Okay. And of course, we all see the reports, the unprecedented levels of storms, floods, fires globally, which the message describes as ecophysical manifestations of a much larger vibrational change, not just isolated natural disasters.
And delving deeper into that point, the message really offers a profoundly different lens for these global events. Science gives us explanations for pole shifts, current changes, seismic activity.
Like the standard models.
But the Pleiadian message suggests these aren't isolated incidents. They're symptoms of a unified, massive vibrational overhaul, a planetary adjustment, if you will, to vibrate at a much higher frequency.
So it's all interconnected in their view.
Absolutely crucial. An altered inner core rotation, for instance, would theoretically have ripple effects, magnetic field, geological stability, everything.
Makes sense.
And the source reframes these intense natural disasters. It calls them colossal storms, sudden floods, devastating fires, powerful earthquakes, and unprecedented atmospheric anomalies.
That covers a lot of what we're seeing.
It does, but it interprets them not as mere catastrophes, but as these ecophysical manifestations of that vibrational change, even calls it a spiritual birth, implying a purposeful, though maybe intense, purification process.
And the language they use, like never before recorded in modern history for some events.
It really underscores the perceived scale, the unprecedented nature of these shifts from their perspective. The visible turmoil is seen as a necessary cleansing, preparing the planet for this supposed higher state.
Okay, so physical changes are one layer. But as things intensify, the source also talks about a shift in our experience of reality, this dimensional convergence. What does that mean?
That's a key concept here.
When it says realms begin to overlap and the veil separating worlds becomes thinner.
It points towards this intriguing redefinition of reality itself. Overlapping realms suggests realities we maybe thought were separate, different planes maybe, or even just normal versus paranormal might be becoming more permeable, more accessible, perhaps.
And the thinning veil
Could manifest in lots of ways. Heightened intuition, maybe? More strange synchronicities? Or even a feeling of unreality or confusion as old boundaries dissolve.
And it mentions energetic interference intensifying. That sounds a bit unsettling.
It could be experienced personally as feeling overwhelmed, maybe? Or extra sensitive to energy, both yours and others, leading to emotional or physical discomfort, potentially.
But the message reframes the resulting chaos, right? Not as destruction.
Exactly. It calls it sacred friction necessary for transformation. That's a completely different spin on global instability or personal turmoil, isn't it?
It really is. So the chaos isn't negative.
Not inherently negative in this view, no. It's seen as this essential dynamic force. It rubs against the old ways, the old structures, to make way for the new.
Like friction creating heat, or pressure forming a diamond.
That's a good analogy. Or a rocket pushing through the atmosphere. That friction is necessary to reach orbit. So for you, the listener, this offers a unique lens
How so?
to interpret any everyday chaos or confusion you might feel. Instead of seeing it as just a breakdown, the message suggests seeing it as part of this grander, transformative design, pushing you and the planet towards something elevated.
So discomfort isn't failure, it's a catalyst.
Exactly. Reframed not as failure, but as a purposeful catalyst for growth and evolution, driving us towards a higher, more integrated reality, according to this perspective.
Okay, that makes sense within their framework. So all these Earth changes, the energetic shifts, they lead us to the main event the Pleiadians talk about. The catalyst, the great solar flash.
The centerpiece of the message.
The source describes this cosmic system of grandiose proportions that passes through our solar neighborhood, and it does so on a cycle.
Yeah, every approximately 13,000 years, according to the text, like a grand celestial clockwork setting these massive cycles in motion.
And what happens when this system approaches?
This is where it gets really compelling. As the system gets closer, the message claims, it triggers a huge discharge of energy in our own sun.
Our sun reacts to it.
That's the idea. It manifests as a photon plasma light wave of incomparable magnitude. And that wave is what they call the Great Solar Flash.
So it's not just our sun spontaneously doing something. It's getting a cosmic nudge first.
Exactly. A nudge from this external system, and then this immense wave erupts, according to the narrative.
What are the key things to understand about this flash? Its nature, its purpose.
Well, a crucial aspect is the cyclical nature they describe. It's not random, it's presented as a pre-programmed cosmic cycle, suggesting some deep intelligent order, and the idea of an external cosmic system influencing our sun. That implies a much larger, interconnected galactic mechanism is at play. Our little solar system is part of a bigger dance, responding to a rhythm far beyond what we normally perceive.
And the wave itself. A photon plasma light wave.
Yeah, imagine not just light, but an immense living ocean of pure energy. Super potent, highly charged light particles that aren't just energy, but, they claim, carry specific information.
Information, like data.
Kind of. Designed to recalibrate everything they touch. This energy wave, described as unlike anything we normally measure, is supposedly a force capable of profound system-wide change, affecting the sun, Earth, all living beings.
And its purpose. The message is very specific about that, right? It's not destruction, but rather restoration.
That's a powerful distinction, especially when you think about typical sci-fi ideas of solar flares or novas.
Definitely. And it attributes specific powers to it, almost like it's programmed. It mentions 3 key things.
Yes, 3 core functions. First, activating the planetary grid.
What is the planetary grid in this context?
Think of it like Earth's energetic nervous system. A complex, invisible network of energy lines, vortex points, maybe like acupuncture points on a planetary body. That's the concept.
Okay, so activating it would be like waking up those energy pathways.
Precisely. Allowing energy and consciousness to flow more freely across the planet, potentially enhancing global interconnectedness, intuition, that sort of thing.
And the second power.
Updating every living being at a DNA level.
Whoa. Updating DNA. What could that even mean?
That's maybe the most profound personal claim. It suggests a fundamental genetic recoding for all life. Not just a metaphor. The message implies it literally awakens dormant capabilities.
Dormant capabilities, like what?
Maybe higher consciousness, expanded abilities, inherent wisdom, things supposedly suppressed within our genetic code.
Okay, and the third function?
Returning Earth to its original crystalline pattern. This connects back to that idea of a divine original form.
Right, the state before the alleged manipulations and frequency drops.
Exactly. This blueprint, the original crystalline pattern, represents that purer, higher vibrational state for Earth. Perfect energetic and structural integrity. So the flash is seen as a cosmic reset.
A return to an optimal pre-existing state for the planet and for us.
That's the core insight they offer. It's about restoration and recalibration to a divinely intended state, not annihilation.
So according to this message, we're not just waiting for this flash to happen. The process is already underway.
Yes, that's a key point. It's already in motion, building towards what they call an inevitable climax.
It says that right now, as celestial bodies interact more intensely and this cosmic system advances to its point of greatest proximity, there's a powerful energetic accumulation occurring.
A build-up phase?
Described as a critical phase and an inevitable apex. The message seems pretty certain about this. It doesn't sound like a maybe.
No, the language is very definitive, and it gets specific again, stating that high-frequency plasma currents are already traversing the heliosphere, flooding the magnetosphere, and penetrating all layers of Earth's atmosphere.
Okay, using terms like heliosphere, magnetosphere. Grounding it somewhat.
Right. From a broader cosmic view, this suggests an active, ongoing energy saturation of our immediate environment. The heliosphere is that huge bubble of solar wind protecting the solar system.
And the magnetosphere is Earth's magnetic shield.
Exactly. Now, scientifically, a huge influx of high-frequency plasma could disrupt these fields. Think extreme space weather, satellite issues, grid impacts.
Sure.
But the Pleiadian message interprets this influx differently, as a deliberate, purposeful saturation. Part of the buildup to the flash, not just random space weather.
So these currents are penetrating everything. Earth's atmosphere, too.
That's what it says. Suggesting a pervasive energetic transformation influencing everything from weather to potentially our own biology.
And the sense of inevitability can no longer be stopped.
Yeah, that phrase really reinforces that this isn't something viewed as avertible or controllable. We are, according to this message, in the middle of a cosmic crescendo.
A buildup of energy heading towards its peak, preparing the ground for the great solar flash.
It portrays us as being caught in this powerful, unstoppable current, moving towards a dramatic and definitive cosmic event.
So if this is happening on a cosmic scale, affecting the planet,
Yep.
what about individuals? How are we supposedly experiencing this buildup?
That's where it becomes very personal. The source notes that as this energy accumulates, many of you already feel the impacts in your bodies, your minds, and your souls.
So personal feelings aren't just random.
Not according to this message. They're described as evident signs of this approaching cosmic system. It suggests your personal experiences are directly linked to this huge planetary shift.
But how do you tell the difference between, say, signs of this shift and just normal life stress or personal issues?
That's a really important question. The message implies there might be a specific pattern to look for, like intense emotional release followed by clarity, that could offer a framework for self-reflection. It's basically suggesting that what feels like individual turmoil might actually be your system responding to these intense energetic shifts happening planet-wide and beyond. It legitimizes those feelings, gives them a potentially deeper meaning within this cosmic context, like our internal sensors are picking up on these macro-level changes.
One of the most striking signs mentioned is intense emotional explosions that break old internal limits and control patterns, followed by a profound clarity and a radical alignment of the soul. That sounds like more than just having a bad day.
Oh, absolutely. It sounds like a powerful, maybe challenging, but ultimately freeing experience, where something fundamental breaks through.
What's being exploded there, do you think?
Yeah.
According to the source.
It suggests a forceful dismantling of outdated emotional structures. Think of these explosions like a pressure release valve going off.
Okay.
Purging accumulated stress, maybe old trauma, limiting beliefs, control patterns that have held you back. It's the breaking of ingrained habits, shattering self-imposed restrictions under these supposed new higher frequencies.
And then comes the clarity.
Yes, that's the paradox. Not more turmoil, but profound clarity. Like shedding mental fog, seeing things, situations, relationships, yourself with startling truth.
Which leads to radical alignment of the soul.
Which could mean finding this deep, unwavering connection to your true self, your purpose, your inner wisdom, potentially altering your life path significantly. It's portrayed as tough, but liberating, bringing you back to authenticity.
So the advice would be, don't resist these moments.
The message seems to suggest accepting them as part of the process is key to moving through them towards that clarity.
And the signs of expanding consciousness go further, right? It talks about lucid dreams, prophetic visions, and multidimensional experiences.
Yeah, really stretching the boundaries of normal perception.
In which linear time dissolves, allowing contact with past lives and possible futures. Okay, let's try to unpack that. Dissolving linear time.
Imagine how fundamental linear time, past, present, future, in strict order is to our reality. If that starts dissolving,
Things get weird.
things get very different. The sequence becomes fluid. You might vividly remember a past life like it was yesterday, or get a clear knowing about a future possibility, as if these timelines aren't separate anymore, but accessible parts of a bigger consciousness.
And lucid dreams, prophetic visions.
Lucid dreams being aware you're dreaming, maybe influencing it, prophetic visions getting clear glimpses of future events. Both suggest, in this view, that our subconscious and maybe superconscious minds are becoming more active, more integrated with our waking awareness.
What about multidimensional experiences?
That implies going beyond our usual five senses. Perceiving other layers of reality, perhaps, subtle energy fields, maybe even interacting with non-physical consciousness, whether dreaming or awake.
And contacting past lives or possible futures. How would that change someone?
Profoundly, you'd imagine. It would reshape your understanding of who you are, your destiny, how everything connects across time. It suggests our consciousness is being prepped to operate in a much broader, non-linear way, a hallmark, they say, of shifting to higher dimensions. A re-education of perception.
It's a radical shift in thinking about reality, and there are more signs listed. Study shifts in timelines where you can experience instant quantum leaps to higher realities.
Not just feeling a bit better, but a complete, instantaneous change of state.
Yeah, and powerful and recurrent synchronicities functioning as direct transmissions from higher dimensions, guiding every step. Those meaningful coincidences.
The ones that feel too perfect to be chance.
Exactly. And finally, this irresistible magnetic force pulling you towards the highest destiny, activating your soul mission, and preparing for the full expression of your divine being. That sounds less like ambition and more like a calling.
It does. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, it really suggests a highly personalized, divinely orchestrated journey for each person within this huge global shift.
A personal journey within the collective one.
Exactly. This activated soul mission idea implies a profound shift. Moving from a life maybe driven by external pressures, what you should do, to one guided by this deep internal higher purpose.
Let's break down those signs a bit more. Quantum leaps to higher realities. What does that feel like?
Well, the source presents it as more than just a big step. It's instantaneous. A profound shift in your whole energetic and emotional state all at once. Imagine being stuck on a problem, feeling trapped, and then boom, a breakthrough. Subtle clarity, perspective, even peace. Like you've instantly shifted into a higher reality of understanding. An internal upgrade, basically.
Okay. And the synchronicities. Not just coincidences.
No, presented as direct, purposeful transmissions, like messages from higher dimensions acting as your personal GPS.
Cosmic breadcrumbs.
That's a great way to put it, keeping you on your path or confirming you're going the right way, often appearing exactly when needed.
And that irresistible magnetic force. How's that different from just wanting something badly?
It's described as innate, internal, a deep resonance aligning you with your true purpose, activating your soul mission, that unique contribution only you can make, and preparing you for the full expression of your divine being. It's less about ego goals and more about soul alignment.
So the invitation to you, the listener, is to reflect. Have you felt pulls like that? Seen those synchronicities? Had those sudden shifts?
Yeah. The source suggests these aren't random. They're specific indicators of this cosmic shift unfolding within you.
Okay, so we've looked at the ongoing shifts, the personal signs, which brings us to the trigger point, the actual moment of the great solar flash.
The culmination.
The source says the trigger point, Monte de Despero is the phrase used, happens when electromagnetic pressure between our sun and the approaching brown dwarf star reaches a sufficient level.
Right. This is where it gets specific about the mechanism involving another celestial body.
Yeah, it's not just our sun. It's this interaction, a cosmic dance building to this explosive moment.
And it introduces this approaching brown dwarf star as the catalyst. Brown dwarfs are, often called failed stars, not enough mass for fusion like our sun, but still significant objects with powerful electromagnetic fields.
So the idea is the pressure between our sun and this brown dwarf hits a critical point.
And triggers what scientists might term a solar nova, or a super flare, but which this spiritual tradition calls the Great Solar Flash.
Two names, same event.
That's how it's presented. Now, astrophysically, a genuine solar nova on our sun would likely be catastrophic by conventional understanding, atmosphere stripping, devastation.
Right.
But the source here repurposes that term. It describes an event of transformation and restoration triggered by this external body. So while the name might sound similar, the intent and outcome described in this message are vastly different from the purely scientific catastrophe model.
Interesting convergence of terms, though. Scientific and spiritual language pointing to the same, maybe, phenomenon, but interpreting it totally differently.
Exactly. It implies different ways of knowing might be converging on the same ultimate event, just with different understandings of its nature and purpose.
And when this pressure peaks, the source says it's instantaneous.
Yes. When this instant happens, it will be in the blink of an eye. Everything will change in a single cosmic moment.
Wow. Not gradual at all for the final event. Immediate. Total transformation.
It emphasizes that suddenness. While the build-up, the crescendo, is gradual, the final trigger and the wave itself are described as incredibly rapid. A complete, immediate shift, a fundamental reordering of reality.
Hard to even visualize.
It is, but it highlights the perceived power and definitive nature of this predicted event. At that moment, the shift is so fundamental, so pervasive, there's no slow transition. Just immediate, decisive transformation for Earth and everyone, according to this view.
And the light itself. It's described as more than just light, right?
Far more. Not simply light. It is a living, conscious intelligence, loaded with divine codes.
A living conscious intelligence.
Yeah.
Carrying codes. That's a huge leap from physics as we know it.
It absolutely is. It suggests inherent sentience, purpose in the universe's basic elements. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it shifts energy from being a passive force to an active, intelligent agent of transformation.
And these divine codes, they have a specific job.
Yes, they're described as the programming for this grand reset, specifically programmed to awaken humanity's dormant DNA.
We talked about that. Unlocking potential.
Right, and also transmute memories of pain.
Transmute pain. On what level?
Suggests a collective healing, dissolving historical trauma, suffering personal, ancestral from our very cellular memory, a global release of past burdens.
That will be incredible. And the third part.
And initiate Earth's definitive entry into the vibrational field of the fifth dimension.
Okay, the fifth dimension, or 5D. What does that mean in this context? A higher vibrational field.
Generally, in spiritual contexts like this one, the fifth dimension is understood as a higher state of consciousness, marked by things like unconditional love, unity consciousness, a reality less bound by linear time and dense materiality.
And definitive entry.
Implies a permanent shift, not just a temporary visit. Earth and its inhabitants would operate under entirely new perceptions, new laws perhaps, living in a radically transformed state. A new Earth, vibrating differently.
So the ultimate outcome is a reality based on unity, love, less density.
That's the essence of the 5D shift described here, a fundamental reordering of reality, changing how we perceive and interact with everything.
What's really fascinating, too, is the claim that this isn't the first time. The source says historical records and even scientific studies recognize that this event has already occurred several times in Earth's prehistory, at least 5 major times.
That adds another layer, framing it as a recurring cosmic event, not a one-off.
So it's part of a known cycle, according to them.
Exactly. And the way it attempts to blend historical records, maybe ancient myths or texts, with scientific studies, perhaps geology, astrophysics is a key part of the narrative, trying to find corroboration across different fields.
And they give numbers. A 13,000-year cycle happened at least 5 times before.
Right, grounding it in this recurring pattern, suggesting a grand, long-term design.
And then he gets really specific about now. We are now within the current 13,000-year cycle, and 26 years have already passed since its beginning.
Implying the timing is very relevant.
Meaning the great solar flash is indeed delayed. Delayed, what does that imply?
It adds this sense of heightened anticipation, doesn't it? Urgency. The delay isn't presented as a cancellation, but maybe as a buildup of pressure, making its eventual arrival even more potent.
So its manifestation is imminent and can occur at any instant.
That's the conclusion drawn in the message. The unwavering certainty is striking. The solar flash is coming, the light is already rising, and the transformation is absolutely inevitable.
Not if, but when, and when could be now.
Precisely. It frames us as living right on the precipice of this cosmic moment with a deep past and an unavoidable future, intensifying the significance of right now. We're supposedly at the climax of an ancient, predestined cosmic drama.
Okay, so let's bring this right back to the individual, to you, listening. Your role in all this. The source calls this the most grandiose moment to be alive on planet Earth.
High praise for our current times.
And it speaks directly to you. You chose to incarnate here and now exactly to participate in this sacred process.
That's a powerful statement about personal destiny and choice.
And then, nothing you have lived through until now was in vain. Everything in your life, every experience, every pain, every victory was preparation for this instant. How does that reframe someone's life story?
Dramatically. It raises that question. If every experience was preparation, how does that change your view of past challenges or things you saw as failures?
Right. Suddenly they have purpose within this narrative.
Exactly. It suggests a deeper intrinsic wisdom to our life paths, that somehow we've been perfectly aligned with this cosmic timeline. The idea of choosing to incarnate now imbues your presence here with immense purpose. Not accidental, but by design in this view.
So even the hard stuff, the pain was preparation.
That's the assertion, reframing every experience, every pain, every victory as essential preparation, validating your whole journey, suggesting even the toughest moments equipped you with the strength, the wisdom, the understanding needed for this moment.
It offers a profound sense of meaning then, transforming personal history
into a divine curriculum, almost, perfectly setting you up for this unprecedented moment of planetary and human evolution, as they describe it. It really speaks to your inherent value and crucial role, empowering you with the belief you're exactly where you need to be.
And what is emerging from all this preparation, this transformation? The source says it's the new Earth. Not as a metaphor, but as a concrete, visible, measurable, and multidimensional reality. Let's explore that. Not a metaphor. Concrete, visible, measurable.
That's a crucial distinction they make, pushing beyond just abstract spiritual ideas into tangible manifestation.
So what could a multidimensional planet look like in a visible, measurable way?
It's hard to say definitively, but it could imply shifts in our actual perception. Maybe we literally start seeing more colors, hearing more frequencies, perceiving subtle energy fields currently invisible to us.
Right.
Perhaps the laws of physics as we know them would seem to operate differently. Maybe new technologies emerge, aligned with these higher frequencies, becoming observable.
So real physical changes.
Possibly. Maybe a reharmonization of ecosystems. An instant clearing of pollution, perhaps. A shift in the very composition of matter. All making this new Earth physically distinct, undeniable.
So it's a fundamental restructuring of shared physical reality.
That's the implication, making it a higher vibrational expression of itself, where the invisible becomes visible, the subtle becomes tangible.
It's an astounding vision. And to help navigate this, the Pleiadian light forces offer guidance.
Yes, direct advice for individuals.
They tell us to align your being with this transition, breathe together with the Earth, feel yourself as part of its pulsating heart.
Very embodied instructions, connecting personally with the planet's process.
And then remain firm as a lighthouse of light amidst the storms, because that is exactly what you are. That's incredibly empowering.
It is. And what's fascinating there is the active role it assigns. You're not just an observer, you're meant to be a lighthouse.
Meaning our internal state matters.
Deeply. It implies our internal state, our peace, courage, confidence, directly contributes to the collective transformation. It's not just for our own comfort.
So aligning, breathing with the Earth, feeling part of it, that's about synchronizing ourselves.
Exactly. Synchronizing our personal vibration with the evolving Earth's vibration. Feeling that individual resonance with the bigger cosmic shift.
And being a lighthouse amidst the storm.
Positions each person as this stable, guiding presence during perceived chaos, radiating an intrinsic light that helps others navigate. It's active participation, not passive hope.
And the message concludes with this strong affirmation, signed by Michael Love and the Pleiadians.
Grounding it to its source.
The great solar flash is not just a spiritual concept, it is real. It has already begun, and its culmination is near. May peace, courage, and confidence be in your heart.
Reinforcing that certainty, the reality of it within their framework and its ongoing nature.
And finally, you were born to live this moment and to anchor the light that will transform the destiny of all humanity.
Which really bestows this profound divine purpose onto each listener, placing you right at the center of this cosmic rebirth narrative. The key takeaway seems to be, your inner state isn't just personal, it's a direct, active contribution to transforming Earth.
Wow. Okay, so we've taken a really deep dive into this Pleiadian message channeled by Michael Love. This description of an unprecedented cosmic event, a transformation touching everything from Earth's core to you. We've seen how, according to this source, it's not just a prediction, but a process already happening. Reshaping our world, bringing challenges, yes, but also incredible opportunities for growth and rebirth, as they frame it.
Which leads to a really important question for you, the listener, to maybe ponder. If the Earth is shifting to this pure, more radiant expression, as the message claims, and if you were born for this moment, what tangible steps might you take in your own life to align with that perceived higher vibration?
How could you become that lighthouse?
Exactly. How might your intentions, your emotional state, your everyday actions, how might they contribute to this grand transformative tapestry? Regardless of how you interpret the literal details of this specific message, what does transformation mean for you?
That's a powerful thought to carry with you, definitely,
Yeah.
as you navigate your own journey. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today.
Keep your curiosity alive.
And we'll see you next time.